Greetings, students. I'm making this video to support you in learning your spelling and vocabulary words. So follow with me. These are the words that we have learned in the last 2 weeks. So I put this together to have you remember what you have already learned. So let's say these words after me. From, fresh, tree, try, grow, gram. Now remember, these words have one syllable, one sound. Again, from, fresh, tree, try, grow, gram. From, fresh, tree, try, grow, gram. Next, these words have two syllables. Orchards, orca, ladders, former, crunchy, crush. Again, orchards, orca, ladders, former, crunchy, crush. The next set of words have three syllables. Grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continued. Now your turn. Grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continued. The next set of words has four syllables. Successfully, exceedingly, successfully, exceedingly. Again, repeat after me or with me. From, fresh, tree, try, grow, gram. Orchards, orca, ladders. Make sure you emphasize the ending sound of ladder because it is a plural noun. Emphasize the S. Ladders, not lad. Ladders. The middle C, the middle D is silent. Ladders. Former, crunchy, crush, grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continued, successfully, exceedingly. Now, your turn. From, fresh, try. I apologize. Tree, try, grow, gram, orchards, orca, ladders, former, crunchy, crush, grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continued, successfully, exceedingly. Great job. Now, let's see this. Where are you from? I am from Georgia. This is a map of the United States of America. This is the continental United States. How many states are in this map? It is not 50, it is 48, because Hawaii and Alaska is not connected to the mainland. So this is 48. This is the live oak. This is the state tree for the state of Georgia. So what do you see? I see a tree. 6 divided 2, parenthesis, plus 1 parenthesis equal. So this is difficult. This is challenging. This is complex for you to solve. So therefore, is the equation difficult? Yes, but I will try. Now, you see here, you have a baby, an infant, and then you go into a child, you grow up to be a preteen and an adult. So this is a life cycle. So what do you call this for people? So what happens to you? I grow up every day. Now, of course, do you know who this person is? Is he a current or a former president? So who do you see? I see a former president. What is his name? If you say Barack Obama, you are absolutely correct. Congratulations. What do you see here? This is a dollar bill. How heavy is the dollar bill? What is the mass of the dollar bill? So as you can see here, I have a telephone in my hand and I have a remote control. So which object is heavier than the other? So which object has a heavier mass? Is it the telephone or the controller? So a dollar bill, even though it's light, it does have a mass. And so we use gram to measure how heavy or the mass of the dollar bill. So the dollar bill is about 8 grams, which is not very heavy, very, very, very light, teeny tiny light. Now, what do you see? Where do farmers grow apples? Apples are grown in the orchards. What do you see here? I see an orca. Is an orca a living thing? Yes, it is. Is an orca an organism? Yes, it is. What do you see? I see many ladders. What do you see here? I see crunchy apples. So what kind of sound do you hear when you eat crunchy apple? What does happen to the bottle? The workers crush it. What is it? The bottle. Where do you see the people? So where are the people? They are at a grocery store. What do you buy at the grocery store? Food and other things like paper towel. But when we talk about grocery, we mainly talk about food. What do you see? I see a blueberry. Do you like a blueberry? Do you like fresh or dried blueberry? What did the drivers do? They unloaded the grocery. So the word unloaded has a prefix. What is the prefix? If you say un, you are correct. What is the suffix? If you say ed or ed, that's correct. So when we add the prefix of ed, is the verb in the present, future, or the past? If you say the past, you are absolutely correct. What do you see here? Did Ben finish reading? No, the reading was unfinished. Unfinished, unloaded, both of these words have prefixes and suffixes. So can you tell me the root of the word unfinished? If you say finished, you are absolutely right. What do you see? I see fresh fruit. Where do farmers grow apples? Well, farmers grow apples in the orchards. But I apologize, this is not the correct picture that I want to show you. But so for this picture here, how many dots do you see? This is a dot, this is a dot, and this is a dot, this is a dot, this is a dot, this is a dot. So what do you see? So you see the dots, you see the dots. So the dots were connected together to make a shape. What is the name of this shape? If you say hexagon, you are correct. Why? A hexagon has 6 sides and 6 vertices. So the dot that the line connected is the vertex of this hexagon. So these are the vertex right here. So you have 1 vertex, 2 vertices. So this is called a hexagon. We use the line which represents the size of the vertex of the hexagon here. This is the line. So the lines connect the dots to make a hexagon. Did you finish your learning at Speak Up? Speak Up is a place where people can learn how to speak English. So did you finish your learning at Speak Up? No. My lessons were unfinished. Why did Walter pump his fist? He successfully achieved his goals. What do you see? I see Braylon successfully meets his target. So now your turn to say these words out loud. Remember the syllable for each word. From, fresh, tree, try, grow, gram. Remember, these words have one syllable. From, fresh, try, try, tree, grow, gram. Orchards, orca, ladders, former, crunchy, crush, grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continued. Again, connected, continued. You have to sound the D like a T. Successfully, successfully, exceedingly, exceedingly. Now, can you fill in the missing letter for each of the words that you see here? So start with the first one. What is the missing letter? If you say, oh, you're correct because it's from. What is the missing letter here? If you say E, that's correct because it's fresh. What's the missing letter? If you say you are correct. This is true. What's the missing letter here? If you say Y, you are correct. This is try. The missing letter is O for grow. What is the missing letter here? If you say A for gram, you are correct. What is the missing letter here? If you say OR for orchards, you are correct. What's the missing letter here? If you say ER for former, you are correct. What's the next missing letters? If you say OR for orca, you are correct. What are the missing letters? CR for crunchy. What are the missing letters? ER for ladders. I apologize, ladders. What is the next missing thing? Letters. If you say crush, CR for crush, you are correct. Congratulations. What are the next three missing letters for the next word here? If you say ORY for grocery, you are correct. What is the next missing letter or letters? If you say ED for the past of unfinished, you are correct. What are the missing letters? If you say UEY for blueberry, you are correct. What is the next missing letter? If you say ED, which is the past and the prefix of connected, you are correct. No, suffix, because it's at the end. What are the missing letters here? If you say UOE for unloaded, congratulations. What is the next missing letter or letters? If you say con for continued, if you sound a round applause. Now, success. Success what? What are the missing letter? If you say Fully for fully, to have successfully, superstar. So now, next one, exceed. Exceed what? Exceed what? Exceedingly. If you have ing-ly for exceedingly, wonderful, wonderful. So again, let's say these words together. From, fresh, true, try, grow, gram, orchards, orca, ladders, former, crunchy, crush, grocery, blueberry, unloaded, unfinished, connected, continue. I'm missing a letter C here. So continue, you have a letter C. Okay, the next one, successfully, exceedingly. Now, let's see if you can complete the sentence with a word from the list below. The farmers grow fresh and blank apples at the orchard farm. So what word from here? If you say crunchy, you are correct because you have a noun here, so you need an adjective. The lessons were blank every day last week because the teacher wanted to finish before going home. The lessons were what? What you need here is a past participle, which is an adjective or the past tense of a verb. So the lesson were continued. The workers blanked the boxes of grocery every month last year. What did the worker do? You need an action word here. So they unloaded. The worker unloaded. Here, you have two lines for two different answer choices. Blank are farms where workers blank different types of fruit, such as apples and oranges. Give you a second to think. The orchards are farms where workers grow different types of fruit, such as apples and oranges. Mr. Duck blank taught his son, who is Ben, to learn English. Mr. Duck successfully. You may not want to use exceedingly here. When you use exceedingly, you have to make sure that you meet certain goals. You have to have certain quantity that you have to meet. Mr. Fee blank met his targets. Mr. Fee blank met his targets. So Mr. Fee exceedingly. Let's say he set a target for 10 and he met 10. That is meeting the target. But if he set his goal for 10, but he made 15, he exceeded his target. Where are you blank? Asked Mr. Nguyen. I am blank, Georgia, replied Trayvon. As you can see here, you have two people. What are they having? If you say a dialogue or a conversation, you are right. So where are you from? I am from Georgia. And what is Georgia? Georgia is one of the 50 states of the United States of America. And this country has how many states? If you say 50, you are absolutely right. Can you buy me a blank pie? Asked Kennedy, who likes to eat blank fruit. If you say a blueberry and fresh fruit, you are correct. George Washington, many years ago, was the first and blank president of the United States of America. He's no longer a president. He was a president before. So what word can we use to describe him being a president before? If you say former, you are correct. Now, these are our vocabulary words that we have learned in the last 2 weeks. So we have index, which is normally a part of a book. And so the index is normally arranged in alphabetical order and by the subject. So if you were reading a book about animals at the zoo, so at the end of the book, the author or writer put a special writing by the subject, by alphabetical order with the page. So in case you want to go back and look for information in the book, you don't have to flip every single page to look for it. You can go to the index, look under each subject and the page numbers and go back to the book and find which is easier than not having the index. Repetition. I have shared with you time after time. So when words or statements are repeated in a passage, the author wants to emphasize that important words, phrase, or ideas. Mass. I'm a human, I'm an organism. Gravity pulled me down because my body has mass. So is the telephone, so is the remote controller. Everything has mass. So mass is the amount of matter an object has. An elephant's mass is heavier than a mouse. Cesar Chavez. He was born in America. His family was from Mexico. And so after he was born and growing up, he saw how farm workers were not treated fairly, were not having good working conditions. So he became a labor activist to support farm workers so they can have better working conditions, like having AC to turn on when it is hot, having the heat to turn on when it is cold. There's drinking water for the workers. Those are the working conditions that worker needs to have. Anne Frank. This is a tragic incident about Anne Frank, who grew up in Germany. At the time when she grew up, there was a crisis where Adolf Hitler ordered his soldier to find the Jews and execute them due to their differences, due to his dislike for them being Jews. So she wrote about her experience while living in the annex of a house in Germany during that time. Eventually, she died of a disease before knowing her diary was published and read in many parts of the world. Now we have Maya Angelou. I love Maya Angelou because she's a famous and prolific writer. She eloquently used her words to express how she feels. So one of her famous books is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So this is one of her famous books. She also performed at the inauguration of President Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. So this is Dr. Maya Angelou, an American writer, poet, and civil rights activist. Unfortunately, our beloved President John F. Kennedy was assassinated for the things he did that some people did not like. So John F. Kennedy became the 35th president of the United States of America. He was also responsible for helping the United States to form the space program. We have a budget. I'm a teacher. I work for a salary. So when I receive my pay, I don't just spend on the things I need at that moment. I have to split, separate, or divide the money that I receive from my work into different components, different elements, or different parts. For example, if I make $100 and I spend all $100, I don't have anything for tomorrow. So I may use $50 to pay for my house, $20 for gas, $10 for eating. Then I save $20 for later on in case I need to buy something else that I need. That is called a budget, a plan on how to use money effectively. Curiously, we all know about Curious George. So being curious means you always want to know about something. You want to figure out, you want to learn by touching, learn by doing, learn by asking questions. So when you are curious, you want to know more. So curiously relate to the word curious because curiously is an adverb of the word curious. So when you are curiously asking question, it means that you want to know more. Teeny. Teeny is a synonym of tiny or something that is extremely small. Teeny tiny. So you see here, a mouse is very blank comparing to an elephant. What vocabulary word fits in this sentence? If you say teeny, you are correct. Look at the size of the elephant comparing to the mouse. What is this child doing? Jason is blank, looking for something right now. So he wants to know, he wants to figure out. So Jason is curiously. What do you see here? And the writing is in alphabetical order by the pages. So Amina uses and blank to help her find a page about gas. So she's reading a book, which is nonfiction. And what is nonfiction? If you say nonfiction is informational or something that can be proven true, you are right. So this nonfiction books wrote on 5 topics. If you want to figure out what page the book talks about the sun, what page do you go to? If you say 10 and 11, you are correct. So this is called the index. And normally the index is listed at the end of a book in alphabetical order and by the subject. The day at the beach was fun, fun, fun. Why did the author use the word fun, fun, fun 3 times? What literary device did the author use here? So if you say the above sentence is a repetition, then you are correct. What do you see here? Desire's mother has a blank that helps her spend money wisely. So you see here, she has her money from work. She used for a mortgage, which is paying for your house and other expenses. This is called a budget. Who do you see here? This blank was a former and 35th president who was assassinated in 1963. What is assassinated? So how did JFK similar to Martin Luther King Jr.? So this is John F. Kennedy. So President John F. Kennedy was similar to Dr. Martin Luther King because they advocate for something they believe in, and as a result, they both were assassinated. So you see a tiger here, and you see a duck. So the blank of a tiger is heavier than a bird's. The what? The mass of a tiger is heavier than a bird's mass. Who do you see here? So this was a labor activist who helped farm workers to have better working conditions. If you say Cesar Chavez, you are so right. Who do you see here? This is a photo of Anne Frank. And Anne Frank was, this was Anne Frank, who wrote a diary about her experience of the Holocaust in Germany. Who do you see here? Beautiful and bright. This is Dr. Maya Angelou. So this is Dr. Maya Angelou, who wrote a famous book about I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So let's test your knowledge. So I have get out a piece of paper, and I'm going to spell 5 words for you, and I want you to spell them based on what we have learned. So the first word I want you to spell is from. Number 2, grow. I grow up every day. Number 3, orchards. Remember, I have the S ending. Orchards. Orchards. Number 4, unfinished. Learning is unfinished. Paying bills is unfinished. My homework is unfinished. Number 5, exceedingly. So let me repeat. Number 1, from. Number 2, grow. Number 3, orchards. Number 4, unfinished. Number 5, exceedingly. Here go the next one. These are your vocabulary words. What is the blank of an elephant? So, number 7, Lucas blank looks for ways to learn about planets. Lucas blank looks for ways to learn about the planets. Josiah and Royal were reading a famous book titled I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by blank. Who is this? So if you, number 1, if you have all of these correct, congratulations. I give you a minute to confirm with your test. So therefore, congratulations. This is Dr. Nguyen.